Okay, so you've got like a ton of Beagle stuff.
Uh-huh.
Videos, articles.
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe you've even got like an old encyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know what you need to know about these dogs quickly.
Right? Yeah. That's what we're going to do
You
today.
can sniff out the good stuff from this deep dive into all things Beagle.
I think it's fascinating how this breed has really gone from the hunting fields and packs to now being stars at the airport, solo sniffing out all the contraband food that people are trying to sneak into the country.
Yeah.
And of course, beloved family pets.
Yeah, it's quite a career change.
Yeah.
But let's start at the beginning. Where did this breed come from?
Well, it's a little bit of a mystery, but we can trace them back to England, where they were used for hunting small game like rabbits and hares.
Okay.
And some people think that their ancestors actually go back as far as Roman times.
Wow.
Which is pretty interesting.
So they've got some serious history.
They do. And one fascinating tidbit is about those pocket beagles.
Oh, yeah.
That Queen Elizabeth I.
The 9-inch ones?
Yeah!
I can just imagine a royal court filled with these tiny little hounds baying their heads off.
It's quite the image, although I'm not sure how useful they were for the royal hunt.
Right.
They probably weren't as speedy as some of the larger hounds.
Right. So more like adorable companions than actual hunting partners?
Exactly.
Makes sense. Well, speaking of hunting, though, you sent some videos, and they really emphasize the Beagle's incredible sense of smell.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. 220 million scent receptors.
Easy.
In their noses compared to our measly 5 million.
No wonder they're so good at finding trouble traits.
Exactly.
So how does that powerful nose affect their training, though?
It's key, that incredible sense of smell.
Okay.
It isn't just a cute quirk. It's actually a driving force behind a lot of Beagle behavior.
So are they even listening when there's an interesting smell around?
Well, let's just say you're going to want to have a good grip on that leash.
Okay.
And forget about going off leash for at least the first year. You're going to need to start with some serious on-leash training at home.
Yeah.
Teaching your Beagle to focus.
Yeah.
Even when there are tempting scents all around.
So it's like their nose has a mind of its own.
Pretty much. But don't worry, they are intelligent.
Okay.
Just remember, their smarts are geared more towards problem solving than blind obedience.
Okay, so maybe not the best breed for those rigid obedience competitions.
Right.
But what about everyday life? What's it like living with a Beagle?
Well, picture this. You've got a dog who is generally friendly, merry, and loves to be part of the pack.
Okay.
But that same pack mentality means they need proper training and socialization.
Right.
Otherwise, that independent streak that they have can become a bit of a headache.
So a well-trained and socialized Beagle equals a happy life for both of you.
Exactly. And remember those 220 million scent receptors?
Yes.
Well, that translates into a serious love for food.
Of course.
And you can use that to your advantage when you're training them. So think puzzle toys with hidden treats.
Okay.
It'll keep your Beagle entertained and challenged.
Yeah, that's a great tip.
Yeah.
It sounds like their intelligence really shines when they're engaged.
Yes.
And challenged, not just told what to do.
Absolutely. And when it comes to exercise, think sniffing walks, not just a quick trot around the block.
Okay.
They need that mental stimulation just as much as they need the physical activity.
So it's quality over quantity.
Precisely. Now about that classic Beagle look.
Right. Floppy ears, short coat, strong jawline. Almost like a miniature foxhound.
Exactly. And while the tricolor pattern is the most common, don't be surprised if you see other variations like lemon and red and white.
Wait, a blue tick Beagle. I've never seen one.
Oh, yeah.
What does that look like?
It's kind of like a marbled effect.
Wow.
Like a walking work of art.
Now that's a dog I would love to see in person.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm ready for more Beagle insights.
Okay.
We've covered the basics. But what else is there that is unique about this breed?
Okay, well, prepare to be amazed. Did you know that a Beagle's nose print is as unique as a human fingerprint?
No way.
Yeah.
So like every Beagle has a different nose pattern.
That's right. No two are alike. And speaking of unique, let's talk about those coat colors.
Yeah, we touched on the tricolor and some of the variations, but those articles mentioned even rarer patterns like ticking and mottling.
Right.
What are those exactly?
So ticking, imagine like a sprinkle of freckles across their coat. And mottling is more like patches of different colors kind of blended together.
So you're telling me there's a whole world of Beagle looks beyond that classic image we all know.
Absolutely. And some of those old paintings of Queen Elizabeth I and her pocket beagles actually reveal how the breed's appearance has evolved over time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Those pocket beagles had shorter legs and more, like, pointier noses
Oh.
compared to the beagles we see today.
So not just size, but they were bred for different physical traits.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
a good reminder that breeds are constantly evolving. And beagles are a prime example of how they can adapt and thrive in different roles.
Speaking of roles, those articles mentioned beagles being used for some pretty surprising jobs, like
Right.
detecting termites. Who knew?
Their noses aren't just for sniffing out treats, that's for sure. They're actually incredibly good at detecting termite infestations.
Wow.
And it's helping homeowners to protect their property.
Wow. Talk about a hidden talent.
Yeah.
And it's not just termites, right? I was reading about them being trained to detect bed bugs and even certain types of cancer.
That's true. Researchers are exploring the potential of using beagles to detect cancer cells.
Wow.
And the early results are really promising.
Really?
It really speaks to the power of their sense of smell and their ability to learn complex tasks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, what else could we train these noses with feet to do?
The possibilities are endless. But let's not forget about those adorable beagle antics.
Right.
Remember that video you sent me with the beagle puppy and the lamb treats?
Oh, yeah, that was so cute.
Right.
He was determined to get those treats.
He was. It's a good reminder that beagles are highly motivated by food,
Yeah.
which can be both a blessing and a curse during training.
Right. You got to be one step ahead of them.
Right.
Speaking of training, how early should you start training a beagle puppy?
Sooner the better.
Okay.
They have that independent streak we talked about.
Right.
So establishing boundaries early on is absolutely crucial.
That makes sense. What are some of the most important things to focus on during those early training sessions?
Well, leash manners are an absolute must.
Okay.
Remember, their noses can often lead them astray.
Right.
So a really solid recall command is essential.
Yeah.
And be prepared for some pulling on the leash,
Oh, yeah.
especially during those sniffing walks. They get so focused.
Yeah, so it's about teaching them to work with you,
Yeah.
not against you.
Exactly. It's all about patience, consistency, and positive reinforcement.
Okay.
And speaking of training, let's not forget about the importance of socialization.
Yeah, you don't want a beagle who's afraid of other dogs or people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Early and positive exposure to different environments, people and other dogs, is key to preventing behavioral issues later on.
Yeah.
So think puppy classes, play dates at the park, even just taking them for walks in busy areas.
Okay.
It's all about helping them to become well-rounded members of the canine community.
So socialization isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process.
It is. Even adult beagles benefit from regular social interaction.
Okay, so now let's talk about those adorable floppy ears
Yes!
that are like a beagle trademark.
They are so cute.
But I know that they could be prone to infections.
They can. Unfortunately, their shape kind of traps moisture, which creates a breeding ground for bacteria and yeast.
Okay.
So regular ear cleaning is a must.
Okay.
And if you notice any redness discharge or a foul odor, it's definitely best to consult your veterinarian right away.
Got it. So those ears require a little extra TLC.
Right.
What about those perpetually wagging tails?
Yeah.
They always seem so happy.
They do, but those wagging tails can actually tell you a lot about a beagle's mood.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about happiness.
It's not a high wagging tail usually indicates excitement and joy,
Okay.
but a tucked tail
Mm-hmm.
can signal fear or anxiety.
So you have to pay attention to their body language as a whole, not just the tail.
Exactly. It's all about understanding their nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of those expressive tails, they're usually accompanied by another iconic beagle sound,
The howl,
the howl, or should we say the baying.
right, the baying.
It's a sound that's deeply rooted in their hunting heritage.
Right, but I've noticed my friend's beagle bays for all sorts of reasons, not just when he's on the trail of rabbit.
That's right. Beagles bay for a variety of reasons: excitement, alertness, even boredom. It's their way of communicating with the world.
So it's like their own personal form of self-expression.
It is.
What if the baying gets a little too much? You know, especially for apartment dwellers or those with close neighbors.
Well, sometimes ignoring it can work because they often bay for attention. So if you don't react, they might stop.
Okay.
But if that doesn't work, try redirecting their attention with a toy or a game.
Okay.
And of course, a tasty treat can work wonders.
Of course, it's like the ultimate beagle motivator.
Exactly. But if the baying becomes excessive or problematic, it's always best to consult a professional trainer for guidance.
Okay, now, along with baying, beagles are also known for their howling.
Yeah.
That mournful sound that seems to be triggered by sirens and certain musical instruments.
Right.
What is that all about?
Well, it seems to be an involuntary response to high-pitched sounds.
Okay.
And while it can be startling, it's usually harmless.
But what if it becomes excessive or disruptive?
Well, desensitization training can sometimes help.
Okay.
Gradually expose them to the sound at a low volume and reward them for staying calm.
Okay.
Over time, they might actually learn to tolerate those sounds without howling.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So we've covered baying, howling, those powerful noses.
Yes.
But what about a more practical matter, shedding? Just how much do these dogs shed?
Well, let's just say a good vacuum cleaner is a must-have for any Beagle owner.
Okay.
They have a short, dense coat that sheds year-round, not just seasonally.
So it's a constant battle against those tumbleweeds of Beagle hair.
Pretty much, but regular brushing can help minimize the shedding.
Okay.
So just a quick brush a few times a week can make a big difference.
Okay.
And during shedding season, you might want to brush them even more frequently.
Got it. So prepare to be covered in Beagle fur.
Right.
But at least they're not big droolers, right?
Thankfully, no Beagles aren't known for excessive drooling.
Okay.
However, they might drool a bit in anticipation of food
Okay.
or after a good drink of water.
Right.
But nothing a quick wipe can't handle.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about a behavior that I know can be a bit challenging with Beagles digging.
Ah, yes. The digging instinct.
Right.
Remember, they were bred to hunt small game that burrowed underground.
Right.
So that urge to dig is deeply ingrained in their DNA.
So it's not just a matter of them being mischievous. It's actually instinctual.
Exactly. But while it was helpful for tracking rabbits in the past, it can be a bit problematic in a modern backyard.
So how do you deal with a Beagle that's determined to turn your garden into a moonscape?
Well, providing them with a designated digging area can work wonders.
Okay, so create a space where digging is allowed.
Right.
And encourage them to dig there.
Exactly. Fill it with sand or loose soil and bury toys or treats to make it irresistible.
Oh, okay.
It might just save your prized flower beds.
That's a great idea.
Hmm.
And if you catch them digging in an unauthorized area, just redirect them to their designated digging spot.
Right. And maybe distract them with a fun game or a tasty treat.
Right.
But if the digging becomes excessive or destructive, it's always best to consult a professional trainer for guidance.
Okay.
They can help you address the underlying cause and develop a training plan that works for you and your Beagle.
Okay, so digging is manageable with the right approach. Now, what about chewing? I know puppies especially can be quite the little chompers.
It's true. For puppies, it's often about teething. Those new teeth coming in can be itchy and uncomfortable.
Right.
And chewing helps to relieve that discomfort.
Okay.
But chewing can also be a sign of boredom or anxiety in any dog, not just puppies.
So if they're not getting enough mental and physical stimulation, they might resort to chewing on furniture, shoes, or anything they can get their teeth on.
Exactly. So providing them with plenty of appropriate chew toys is absolutely essential.
And what kind of chew toys are best for Beagles?
Think durable.
Okay.
They have strong jaws, so you're going to want to choose toys that can withstand some serious chewing
Okay.
and rotate their toys regularly to keep them interested.
That makes sense. And if you catch them chewing on something, they shouldn't.
Just redirect their attention to a chew toy
Okay.
and praise them when they choose the appropriate item.
Okay.
A little positive reinforcement goes a long way.
Right.
And a tasty treat can always help to seal the deal.
Always a good motivator for a Beagle. But if the chewing becomes destructive or persists despite your efforts, it's probably best to consult a professional trainer or behaviorist.
You're right. They can help you address the underlying cause and develop management plan.
Okay, so we've covered chewing, digging, all those fascinating facts about their noses.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about a Beagle's other great love food.
Ah, yes. The Beagle's insatiable appetite.
Yeah.
It's one of their most endearing,
Right.
but sometimes challenging qualities.
Right. They have a reputation for being serious chowhounds.
They do.
So it's important to be mindful of their portions and avoid overfeeding.
Absolutely. Beagles are prone to obesity,
Yeah.
which can lead to a host of health problems.
Right.
So a balanced diet and plenty of exercise are absolutely crucial.
Right. And remember, those pleading eyes are often just a ploy to get an extra treat.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But a little indulgence now and then is okay.
Of course.
Just make sure it's a healthy treat and keep those extra calories in mind.
Right. Now, speaking of energy, are Beagles always on the go?
Well, remember they were bred for endurance.
Right.
So they need a good amount of exercise to stay happy and healthy.
Okay.
I'd say at least an hour every day.
So think walks, runs, playtime.
Exactly. And don't forget mental stimulation.
Oh, right.
Beagles are intelligent dogs.
Yeah.
And they need to be challenged. So puzzle toys, training sessions, sniffing games.
Okay.
These are all great options for keeping their minds engaged.
So it's all about finding activities that tire them out both physically and mentally.
Exactly. A tired beagle is a well-behaved beagle, as they say.
Mm.
Now, while we're on the topic of health and energy, let's talk about lifespan.
Okay. How long can you expect a beagle to be part of your life?
Well, beagles are generally a healthy breed with an average lifespan of 10 to 15 years.
That's a good long time to share with a free companion.
It is, but remember, proper care and regular vet checkups are crucial
Right.
for helping them live long, healthy lives. Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about beagles and their relationship with children.
Okay. I've heard that beagles are great with kids. Is that true?
They are. Their playful nature and gentle demeanor make them wonderful family companions.
Okay.
They often have a lot of patience for children's antics, and they love to play games.
But it's still important to supervise interactions between dogs and young children.
Absolutely. No matter how gentle a dog is, it's important to teach children how to interact with them respectfully and safely.
So no pulling tails or ears.
Exactly. And always supervise playtime to make sure things don't get too rough. Now, what about other pets?
Okay.
Do beagles get along with cats or other dogs?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm sure it depends on the individual dog, but are there any general guidelines?
Well, they generally do well with other pets, especially if they're socialized from a young age.
Okay.
But it's important to remember their hunting instincts.
Right.
They were bred to chase small animals.
Right.
So introduction should be done gradually and with supervision.
So no tossing a beagle puppy into a room full of cats and expecting instant harmony.
Definitely not. But with patience and positive reinforcement, beagles can learn to coexist peacefully with other furry family members.
Okay, so socialization is key, both with other dogs and with cats.
It is.
I know beagles love the outdoors, but are there any special considerations when it comes to taking them on adventures?
Absolutely. Beagles were bred to roam and explore. So they really thrive on outdoor adventures.
Yeah.
Think hikes in the woods, walks in the park, even just sniffing around the backyard.
Yeah.
But remember, their noses can get them into trouble.
Right. Their scent-driven instincts can lead them astray if they catch a whiff of something interesting.
Exactly. So a fenced-in yard or a secure leash is essential.
Yeah.
And a solid recall command is a must.
Right.
But with the right precautions, beagles can safely enjoy all the joys of the great outdoors.
Okay, so outdoor adventures are a go, but what about living situations? Are beagles adaptable to different environments?
They are. Despite their need for exercise, beagles can adapt to various living environments.
So they're not just for folks with sprawling backyards.
Oh.
Not at all. They can thrive in apartments too, as long as they get enough exercise and mental stimulation.
So city dwellers don't despair. You can have a beagle too.
Exactly. But remember, daily walks and playtime are essential regardless of where they live.
And maybe some indoor games to keep their minds engaged.
Absolutely. Puzzle toys, training sessions, even just hiding treats around the apartment can provide that much-needed mental stimulation. Now let's talk about something beagles are known for: sleep.
Oh yeah, champion nappers.
They are.
After all that running and sniffing, they must need a good rest.
They do. After a good bout of exercise and playtime, they're happy to curl up and snooze for hours.
So they're not exactly a high-maintenance breed when it comes to keeping them entertained.
Not at all. They're perfectly content to spend their downtime relaxing and recharging for their next adventure.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from those incredible beagle noses
Uh-huh.
to their playful personalities and their love of sleep.
Yes.
But out of everything we've discussed, what do you think is the most endearing quality of a beagle?
That's a tough one. They have so many endearing qualities.
I know, right?
But if I had to choose one, I'd say it's their unwavering enthusiasm for life.
Yeah, I agree. They approach everything with such joy and exuberance, whether it's sniffing out a treat, chasing a squirrel, or just cuddling up with their loved ones.
Exactly. Their zest for life is contagious.
Yeah,
And it's one of the many reasons why beagles hold such a special place in our hearts.
well said. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this segment, from beagle trivia to practical tips on managing their unique behaviors.
It have.
But our deep dive isn't over yet.
There's still more to discover.
In our final segment, we'll explore some heartwarming stories about beagles and their incredible bonds with their humans.
Get ready for some heartwarming tales of loyalty, companionship, and the unbreakable bond between humans and their beloved beagles.
Okay, we covered so much, from those incredible noses to their playful personalities and even like their love of digging. But now, like,
Now for the heartwarming stuff.
I want to hear like the heartwarming stuff. What about those incredible stories about beagles and their humans?
Okay, well, get ready to be touched because these stories really showcase that bond.
Okay.
You know, the beagle-human bond.
Yeah.
Did you read about Buddy the beagle who saved his owner's life?
Wait, Buddy, what happened?
So his owner was sound asleep when a gas leak started in the house.
Oh, no.
And Buddy's sharp nose detected the danger, and he started barking and pawing at his owner's bedroom door.
Wow. So he woke her up just in time.
Just in time.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Imagine if he hadn't been there.
Exactly. Buddy's quick thinking and his loyalty saved the day.
Wow.
It really shows that, beagles are so much more than just pets.
Yeah.
They're truly members of the family.
I love that.
Yeah.
And, it's not just about dramatic rescues, right? It's about those everyday moments of companionship and understanding
Absolutely.
that make that bond so special.
Yeah, it reminded me of that story about the beagle who traveled the world with his owner.
Oh, right. They hiked mountains, explored beaches, even sailed across the ocean together.
Yeah.
What a life.
I know.
I can't imagine a better travel companion.
Me neither. It highlights that adaptability that beagles have.
Yeah.
And their love of experiencing new places.
As long as they're by their human side, they're up for anything.
Yeah.
And it's not just about adventure, right? They can also be incredibly supportive during tough times.
Yes.
Like that story about the beagle who helped his owner cope with depression.
Oh, that one really got to me.
Yeah.
The owner was going through a really rough patch,
Yeah.
and his beagle Charlie just became his constant companion,
Oh.
offering unconditional love and a reason to get out of bed each day.
It just shows you how powerful the human-animal bond can be.
Yes.
A dog's love can really help you through those difficult times.
Especially a beagle with their playful and affectionate nature.
Yeah.
They just have a knack for bringing joy into our lives no matter what.
That's what makes them so special.
Yeah.
They're more than just pets. They're companions, confidants, furry therapists, all rolled into one.
I couldn't agree more. So for anyone thinking about welcoming a beagle into their life, remember, you're not just getting a dog. You're gaining a family member, an adventure buddy, and a source of unconditional love.
Well said. You'll laugh together, you'll explore together, and maybe even experience a few mischievous moments along the way.
Exactly. Every beagle has their own personality.
Yeah.
So embrace their quirks and celebrate that unique bond that you share.
Yeah.
It's truly a special experience.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah.
Beagles truly are extraordinary dogs, and understanding their unique needs is the key to having a happy life together.
It is.
So to all the beagle enthusiasts out there, give your furry friends an extra cuddle today.
Aww.
And for those who are still considering adding a beagle to their lives,
Yes.
we hope this deep dive has given you all the insights you need to make that decision.
Until next time.